The Reddit title reads, "What went wrong on your first date?" First comment says, "I hadn't realised it was a date until years later." Okay, so I kind of read that as this probably is a guy and he was meeting up with a girl who might be attractive, he might fancy, but he purely just thought she just wanted to be his friend and he didn't read the signs and didn't take his opportunity to secure the bag, so to speak. So, yeah, I've definitely been in that situation. I remember I was on a sofa with this beautiful girl, like one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen, and I was simping hard for her, but I just either didn't see the signs or I was too scared to see the signs and make a move. But we were, cuddling on the sofa, and she was purposely rubbing her behind into me, and I just didn't make the move. And then she ended up going to sleep, and I had to walk home. So, but look, you need to have these bad experiences to learn. Guys aren't taught this at all. You have to go through bad experiences and go through life and learn as you go. So I don't hold too much of a grudge to my younger self there. Next one. It started off decent. We were both a little nervous but warmed up to each other after a drink. My first real date, as I was freshly divorced, she says she was too. So as we're talking war stories, I asked something about her ex, and she then just motions, "Oh, he's just over there," and he waves back at us. Found out they still live together and he drives her around. Also, he did not look happy. Noped my way out of there real quick. That is a wild story. Now, if you've been in like a long-term relationship or marriage, you are going to be rusty when it comes to dating. You're not going to see the signs, and yeah, because you're just so used to being that one person. So I don't blame him in that regard. But yeah, this is a wild story. Firstly, you shouldn't really bring up an ex. You shouldn't bring up previous relationships. I wouldn't ask that question if I was him. You don't want her to think about another guy while she's on a date with you. But in this regard, it's lucky he did ask because he saw a massive train wreck ahead. Just imagine this guy just waving back and seeing this guy's face just drop. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. And maybe that guy's a bit of a cuck. Maybe he likes to see his wife or ex-wife date other men. Maybe he likes to watch. Okay, that's a wild story. I don't think it'll get much more wild than that, but we'll see. This guy says, "I stepped on her cat." Yeah, cat women, eh? How many cats did she have? That's the real question. But hey, it sounds like you at least made it back to her house or flat after a first date, so you must be doing something right. And it looks like just before you're about to secure the good stuff, you messed it up by stepping on her feline friends. Um, yeah, are cat ladies crazy? Like, if they have two cats, is that like a massive red flag? Um, yeah, they love their cats, and they can. Well, they do have the stereotype of being quite crazy. I don't think I've ever dated a girl who has her own place and has her own cat, so I'm just purely going off stereotypes here. But maybe it's good that you stepped on her cat and didn't see her again because I hear they can get quite crazy, those women. T-boned by a drunk driver minutes after picking her up. We spent our first and only day at ER. Oh, I thought I would like kind of bring you more together. Like, it doesn't sound like it was your fault. The driver drove into you. So yeah, obviously she wasn't the right one because I think that's as long as you two don't have like long lasting injuries. I feel like that's something you could joke about and say at your wedding about how you first met. But hey, it wasn't to be. Maybe she didn't see the funny side of it. Just gonna have a little sip of coffee here, and we'll get into the next few posts. Had these new coffee capsules, and they're just a delight. My caffeine intake has gone up twofold, which is getting me excited about reading these stories. I get a bit hyped up beforehand. This guy says, and it does sound like it's a lot of guys replying. Obviously, they have more horror stories than some women. He says, "She just didn't show up." Yeah, no show. I've never had a no show before. Actually, have I? I've been at the bar or where I was supposed to meet, and I've messaged him saying like, "Where are you?" Because it's like 30 minutes late, and a reply I might get is, "Oh, I didn't know we were meeting today," or "Oh, because I didn't know we were meeting today, I'm not ready yet, but I will come later." So every time that's happened, they do end up actually meeting me on the date, but just very late. But their excuse is always, "Oh, you didn't confirm it before," even though I confirmed it days ago. Going forward, when it comes to dating, I started to ask them on the day just to remind them, like, "Hey, like we're still meeting today at this time, FYI," instead of just like maybe leaving it 3 or 4 days before the date and not saying anything. But from my point of view, if you set a time and a date, you stick to that date, and that's that. But some women need that extra bit of information before they turn up on the date. But yeah, didn't show up. That's pretty rough and very rude of her to waste your time like that. Yeah, you've dodged a bullet there. I never shaved around my privates, so that's what he says went wrong on the first date. If she's getting to your private area on a first date, then I'd say that is positive, right? But she might look at your private area and think maybe you're too young to be dating her, as we saw in that In-Betweeners episode. I need to rewatch those episodes, they're so much fun. Um, she thought it was a good idea to enter our meeting place, a bar, and proceed to sit with some friends for 10 minutes before deciding our date could start. How rude. But there's more to this. Let's read on. As I sat alone, 3 tables away, patiently waiting, she made eye contact as she entered, and I smiled too, so she knew I'm here. Then she was very condescending in person, whereas she hadn't been online. Stuff like taking the mick out of my profession and hobbies, savagery for no real reason. Um, I don't want to say like what I would do in that regard because obviously I'm not there. It's easier said than done. But if we made eye contact and she knew I was there, and then she sat with her friends for 10 minutes before coming over to me, I would have just walked out. I wouldn't give her any more time. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of sitting down next to me, and that would have really embarrassed her in front of her friends as well. She knew exactly what she was doing. She obviously wasn't too excited about you or the date. She might have just been using that opportunity for a free drink and some free food. She probably knew her friends were in that bar. Maybe that's why she might have recommended to go to that bar. But this is so rude. Now, what she should have done, if she saw her friends, she should have had a 10-15 second conversation with them. She should have said, "Hey guys, it's great to see you, but I've actually got my date over there." And that should have been that. And they would have been totally cool with it, and she would have been cool with it. And then the date can start with you. That is just so rude. And it just shows she has no respect for your time. But that's wild. Um, I kind of had something similar like that. I was dating a girl, and she invited me over to her house. And when I turned up to her house, all her friends were there, guys and girls, all like in a circle just chatting. And I had no idea there would be other people there. And I found it extremely rude. Like, why would you not tell me this? And you put me in this situation. And there was a guy there that she obviously fancied, and they were flirting in front of me. Yeah, really rough situation. But again, this was when I was younger and I was very naive. So I actually stuck about and I didn't leave. And I carried on seeing that girl afterwards. So, hey, like I said earlier, you've got to have these bad experiences to learn and then to have the good experiences. One more sip of coffee and we'll go through a couple of more posts because this is more of a laid back, fun Reddit post. I'm quite enjoying these, it's quite humorous. Next up, remember going on a date with a girl who brought her friends. Oh no. So the girl I was just talking about, one of my experiences, that was the same girl who, on 1 or 2 occasions, I'd have a date set up and she'd ask if she could bring her best friend. So yeah, yeah, getting a lot of flashbacks to that really bad experience. He said she was annoying. They were annoying. Oh, so he actually went through with it. He actually said, yeah, you can bring your friends. Maybe he thought there might be a threesome on the cards, but instead there was just blue balls and misery. I felt like the third wheel. They all went to the bathroom about 30 minutes in and just got up and left. At least you left, bro. But yeah, they have zero respect for your time. They're both awful human beings. I'm not even like over exaggerating here. That is just pure disrespect. I couldn't imagine a guy doing that. Like, I couldn't imagine a guy being on a date and hanging out with his mates and letting you sit on another table waiting for him. I couldn't imagine a guy bringing his best mate to a date. It's a very girl thing. Again, the large majority of women would never do this, but there's a select few who are just, yeah, bad news. So credit to this guy for getting up, but come on, you're 30 minutes in, like 30 minutes too late, 30 minutes too long, sorry. But at least he got out there, and I hope he left then the bill. Panicked and shook her hand when saying goodbye. Oh no! Look, you shouldn't even be going in for the hug. You should always go in for the kiss, because you can then test her interest in you. You know, if you go in for the kiss and she gives you the cheek, then obviously she's not interested in you, or she has lots of rules. So then you can just go your separate ways and not waste any more time on her. But yeah, going for the handshake, very formal. Hey, if you didn't fancy her, go for the handshake, I guess. But obviously this guy did like her and he just panicked. But hey, maybe you could have made it a cool handshake, like one of those handshakes that you have to practice. Let's go through 2 or 3 more here. That's a long one. I can't. You know when you get like a long Reddit post comment and you're just like, no, I don't think it's worth my time reading through that. I like the short 1 or 2 sentence ones. Nothing. She was amazing and we had amazing chemistry. What happened after the first date is the thing. She invited me to go see a movie and I couldn't go that day. So I said we should go to the next one. She proceeded to scream at me and say if I don't like her, I should say it to her face. Oh, well, yeah, this girl she's unhinged and unhealthy. He continued saying, then proceeded to stalk me for 2 years. Oh my God. Was she at least a sexy crazy, or she just average crazy? Because if she's sexy crazy, then I guess you could have some fun with her, but just sleep with one eye open. Cyber stalking, though, I counted 17 different accounts that she followed me with. Oh my God. Hopefully she's stalking someone else. Hopefully stalking a Biden voter. That'd be funny. Ended it early because there was a shooting down the street. Yeah, this dude must be from America, but that's wild, right? Imagine just being on a date, enjoying yourself, and you hear a shooting. But again, these types of things should make you closer to that person. So, yeah, would have been a home run if that happens and you survive and you can bond over it. But obviously there was no chemistry between these two. She kept asking if I was married. Maybe she was asking that because she was married herself, let's be honest. Like, what the hell? She didn't even just ask it once, she kept on asking. Maybe someone in the past, she dated a guy who was married or had a side piece. That happens quite a lot. Guys can do that. Or she was doing it herself and she just became very paranoid. Let's do one more, and this looks like it's from a woman. We went to a Chinese buffet and he was talking very loudly, and how weird is it to go to a Chinese buffet all by yourself while there was a man sitting all by himself at the table next to us. Oh, that is rough. Yeah, if you're a guy, you shouldn't be loud. Just be calm, relax, let her talk. Yeah, there's no bigger turn off than being loud and obnoxious and then just not having any awareness of who's around you and saying it's not cool to go to a restaurant by yourself. I go to the restaurant by myself. I go to a bar by myself. I go to the cinema by myself. I love my own company. And, if you're worried about what people think of you, then that shows some insecurities, and F those people who have those opinions of you. Just if you want to go and see a movie by yourself and no one else wants to come with you, or, you don't want to share your popcorn, go by yourself, But yeah, this actually kind of reminds me, I was somewhere and I heard a guy talking to one of the employees at a shop, and the guy was saying, oh yeah, I'd really like to work here, but I just don't think the pay's enough. And I was like, have you not just heard what you said? Like, you're speaking to an employee there and you're basically saying, yeah bro, you don't earn enough money, like you should be doing better. It's like, how rude are you? Like, I don't think this guy who said it even realised what he was saying. Like, just read the room. Some things you just keep to yourself. Anyway, we'll stop there. There are some fun stories. Any bad stories I have that I can share? Yeah, I've had girls who turned up really late because they thought, the date wasn't going ahead, but those ones actually ended up turning out really well. So I wouldn't say that's particularly bad. I don't have any bad dating stories. I have no car crashes. Every time I left, I don't think the girl had a bad time. Like, we vibed, and hopefully she got something out of that experience. But if a vibe isn't good with a girl, then you just end it early. So you don't prolong it to become bad. And also, you got to just do your scouting out. You got to know if this girl is worth your time or this guy's worth your time. You got to do some your investigating, look at the pictures, and, do some research on them if you have to. But yeah, sometimes people hide crazy really good, so I understand why some people get into these situations, and I just certainly do not miss dating. So yeah, good luck to you guys out there, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. See ya.